Hello, my name is Carla Garcia, and this is my data overview presentation for Campbell Middle School located in Smyrna, Georgia. This iTech 7305 class presentation was assigned by Dr. James Wright. The purpose of this overview is to analyze the performance of Campbell Middle School 6th grade students in the math section of the CRCT from the school year of 2011 to 2013. Compare Campbell Middle School CRCT math scores to those observed in the District of Cobb County and the state of Georgia. It also identified strengths and weaknesses in the student demographics and the CRCT data and suggests an action plan for the long-term improvement. Let's begin by taking a look at student enrollment at Campbell Middle School and how it compares to the enrollment at the district and state levels and how it potentially affects the CRCT scores. As we can see, there was an increase of 100 students from 2011 to 2012 for the three grade levels at Campbell Middle School. From 2012 to 2013, the student numbers stayed fairly the same. If we break down the enrollment by subgroups, we can see that there was a significant increase in the number of Hispanics from 2011 to 2012 of roughly 19%, and that their enrollment surpassed any other group in the 3-year period under study. The number of white, biracial, Black, and African American students stayed fairly constant. It is also important to point out that the number of Blacks, African American students attending Campbell Middle School declined about 6% from the second to the last year of this study. As we compare enrollment percentages, we can see that Campbell Middle School experienced increase both in 2011 and 2012 of 3% and 8% respectively, and a decrease of minus 0.5% on 2013. While the state percentages remained fairly constant throughout the 3-year period study, and the district had a very low enrollment levels as well. As we analyze the student attendance at Campbell Middle School, we see a decrease in the percentage of students missing less than 5% of school per year, drop from 63% in 2011 to 58% in 2012, and rise back up to 62% in 2013. Students missing 5 to 15 days of school ranged from 27% in 2011 to 31%, so it went up in 2012 and back down to 28% in 2013. Students missing more than 15 days of school remained constant at roughly 10%. Let's transition to the CRCT math scores and analyze the scores over time at Campbell Middle School, compare school scores to district and state, evaluate the number of students that meet or exceed expectation in the math section of the CRCT test in Campbell Middle, with emphasis on the Hispanic subgroup. As we can see from this bar graph, if you focus your attention on the green bar, which represents 2011-2012, you will see that 26% of the 6th grade students did not meet the expectations. 59% met the expectations, and 16% exceeded the expectations in the math section of the CRCT at Campbell. Moving on to the orange bars, representing the year of 2012-2013, the number of 6th graders that did not meet expectations dropped considerably to 15%, while both percentages of students that met and exceeded expectations in the math section of the CRCT increased to 62 and 23 respectively for that year. As we look at the year 2013, represented by the yellow bar here, we see a decline in the performance with 21% not meeting expectations, 59% meeting expectations, and 21% exceeding expectations in the math section of the CRCT during this 3-year study. This line graph compares the percentages of students meeting expectations in the math section of the CRCT at school, district, and state levels. The graph shows a peak increase in the year 2012 for the 6th grader students at Campbell Middle School, here represented in the green, from 59% to 62%, while both district and state had a decline of students meeting the same expectations. Here's the state, here's the district. The district had a decrease from 51% to 47%, and the state experienced a less significant decline from 57% to 55% during those 2 years. During the last year analyzed of 2013, we show a decline in performance from Campbell Middle School 6th grade students from 62% back to 59%, meeting expectations, while both the district and the state started recovering from their previous years. The worst performer certainly was the district represented by the orange line in this graph. Let's dig deeper and analyze the ethnicity representation found at Campbell Middle School in comparison to the district and state, and let's study each subgroup performance on the math section of the CRCT separately. As we can see, 6th grade students not meeting scores in the math section of the CRCT at Campbell had its best year and its lowest percentages in 2012-2013. Dropping from 27% to 15% and going back up to 20% at the year 3 of this data analysis. The district had the least number of students not meeting expectations, with numbers starting at 14%, dropping to 10%, and rising to 11% in the third year. At the state level, percentages started at 20%, dropping to 17%, followed by 16%, here represented by the green bars, which indicates also that the high percentages at the state levels continue to drop. As we break down the percentages of 6th grade students at Campbell Middle School that do not meet expectations, the bar graph shows all subgroups improving their performance in the year 2. As you can see, the bars are lower here. That means that less kids did not meet expectations during this year. If we particularly pay attention to the multiracial, which is the yellow bar, and the Hispanic group, which is the blue bar, the percentage of students not meeting expectations on the CRCT math section dropped from 25% to 8% and from 28% to 16% respectively. Unfortunately, our percentages went back up on the year 3, which is the year of 2013, with a considerable increase from 8 to 33% in the multiracial group and from 16 to 22% in the Hispanic group. Since the number of students at Campbell Middle School representing the multiracial group is very small, roughly 42 students as seen in a previous slide, we will now focus on the Hispanic group as their enrollment has surpassed that of any other group during the 3-year period under study. These pie charts showcase the number of Hispanics not meeting and exceeding expectations. 2012 was the most productive year of the 3, with percentage of students meeting expectations increasing from 59% to 65%, and those exceeding expectations jumping from 13% to 19% on the second year. The percentages given from the exceeding and meeting groups contributed to the increase in the percentage of the not meeting expectation students, and it went from 16% on the second year to 22% on the third year. This graph illustrates the percentages of Hispanics not meeting expectations in the CRCT math tests at Campbell Middle School for the 3-year period in comparison to the district and state levels. We can see that the percentages are highest at Campbell Middle School, oscillating from 28 to 16, back to 22, here represented in the yellow bar. The district had a decent drop from 23% to 15%, rising up to 17% on the last year of this study. A similar pattern is followed at a state level, with numbers ranging from 22, 18, and 17, here represented by the green bar. Trends at Campbell Middle School. The subgroup population of Hispanics definitely increased. The majority of students and Hispanic students met the expectations on the math section of the CRCT. Strengths and weaknesses. Strengths. Math performance improvement on the year 2012-2013 among Hispanics was noticeable. Further analysis must be conducted to evaluate the considerable decrease in percentage of Hispanic students not meeting expectations in the math section of the CRCT in the year 2012, which was definitely good news. Potentially understand if math teacher experience and/or instructional methods played a role in the improving students' math strategies and scores during this successful year of 2012. Weaknesses. Sixth grade math CRCT performance at Campbell Middle still has high percentage of Hispanic students not meeting expectations in comparison to the percentages revealed at the district and state levels. Attendance among sixth grade students has not improved throughout the 3-year period considerably. Extended questions. What strategies can be implemented by the school to engage and encourage students to desire to master math skills? Focusing on differentiation, are there any supplemental services or activities after school that can help improve students' math understandings? What math skills must be emphasized to improve students' performance in the CRCT test? Suggestions for the future. The school should evaluate the CRCT results as they come out. They should conduct student surveys and interviews to pinpoint challenges and struggles. They should recruit leadership teams that can analyze the data, provide useful resources, and develop a concise long-term action plan. They should definitely get the faculty and all the faculty involved. And they should provide professional development so all teachers can do better to support their students and increase their performance. Thank you for listening to my data analysis. This concludes this recording. Goodbye.